Menopause Warriors, welcome back to my channel. Today we are talking about something that I get asked a lot about. Do you need to take essential amino acids? Do you need a protein shake? Do you need branch chain amino acids? And what's the difference between them all? These are questions that I have had myself a few years back, and I'm going to explain why you might want to consider some, why you probably don't need to consider the others, and actually a really important foundation for any woman going through her perimenopausal and into her post-menopausal years. And it can be quite confusing to work out what do you actually need. It also depends slightly upon your goals, but there is a strong foundation that we all need more protein. Just before I kick this off, most of us undereat the amount of protein we should be eating. Ideally, you want what either your ideal body weight is, or if you're happy with your weight right now, that weight in pounds. So say you want to weigh 140 pounds, you want to aim to eat 140 grams of lean protein a day. The easiest way of doing that is to make sure that all of your meals and or snacks revolve around protein to some degree. Because as we go through the menopause, our bodies become less efficient at using the protein that we eat, and our needs for protein do go up because of that. But also, if you're trying to be healthy and strong and you're doing your strength training, you want to keep yourself fit and active, we need that protein in order to build the muscle mass. And there is no danger of you getting bulky. You would have to work so hard to get bulky in the menopause or your postmenopausal years. But if you're like me, you strength train, I don't know, I normally do 5 to 6 sessions a week. You might be doing 2, 3, 4 sessions a week. You still need to be eating protein in order for your muscles to actually rebuild and strengthen. Also, protein is the building block of life. We need it for our bone strength. We need it for our cellular renewal. You need it for your hair, for your skin, for your nails. You might take collagen. Collagen is an incomplete protein. Some different types of collagen might work better for other parts of the body. I'm not talking about collagen specifically today. We're going to dive into more of the sort of performance related types of protein. And we'll start off by actually describing what is protein. So say like, you know, one of my necklaces here, say that necklace is protein. Okay. If I broke that necklace and all these little beads fell off, by the way, these are disco beads. You can't see the colors on this because the light is reflecting on them. They are light reflective. So if you ever go to a concert, you glow, and there's various different colors in these. I get asked about them a lot. They're based in Cornwall. They are fantastic. They have an online shop, Disco Beads. Just Google disco beads, they will pop up. They're really great value. And because they come in all sorts of different colors, I change mine up every 6 months or so. They are really good fun. But if I broke this necklace and all these beads would become separate, all these beads are now amino acids. So amino acids make up the protein molecule. When we eat protein, the body then uses digestive processes to break that protein down into amino acids. The protein really is just sort of the delivery mechanism. It's like the shipping container that contains all the amino acids that then gets delivered around the body to where they need to go. There are around 20 amino acids in the body in total. 9 of those amino acids are essential amino acids. The rest are non-essential. So the non-essential ones are the amino acids that your body makes naturally. The essential amino acids, of which there are 9, the 9 essential amino acids means that you need to get them from what you're eating. Your body just cannot make them itself. And this is where we fall into the possible supplement category, or just to ensure that you're eating sufficient protein throughout the course of the day. The 9 essential amino acids are valine, isoleucine, leucine, histidine, lysine, methionine. I should have kept counting, so I'm forgetting which ones I've said already. Phenylalanine, threonine, and tryptophan. I think I've got them all there. You don't need to know what all those names are, but you just need to know that we need all of them for the body to function optimally. It's a bit like a team. You know, if you've got like your rugby team and you're missing one of your key players, you might still play okay, but you're not going to win your match. So I'm going to break down branch chain amino acids and essential amino acids in a bit more detail. You've probably heard of BCAAs. They are in your protein recovery drinks. I've spoken quite a lot about branch chain amino acids and making sure you got the right ratio of leucine to valine to isoleucine. Normally the ratio is 2 to leucine, 1 valine, 1 isoleucine. And branched chain amino acids are not separate from the 9 essential amino acids. They, if you remember from that list I just said, those 3 also form part of your 9 essential amino acids. So your BCAAs, your branched chain amino acids, are they form part of your 9 essential amino acids. But not all essential amino acids are branched chain amino acids. You just have the 3 branched chain amino acids: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. And you'll probably hear quite a bit spoken about leucine if you're researching it, because leucine really is incredibly important for helping you make the most out of your activity. It's the trigger that encourages muscle formation, muscle synthesis, but it's just part of the picture again. Leucine is like you thinking, okay, I need some building done, so I'm going to pick up the phone, I'm going to phone the builders. That is leucine's job. It gets things ready, but you still need the other essential amino acids, which are the bricks and the tools that you use to build the building with. So leucine really is the trigger. But then you need the other essential amino acids in order to then make the building be built. And this is something I asked myself a while back, is, if I wanted to be really careful about my calorie intake, for instance, a post-workout recovery shake often includes some carbs. It's not just your branched chain amino acids. It's the full package. You get everything that you might need in a post-workout recovery drink, a muscle recovery drink, like, a whey protein shake. So my question was, well, if I just take the branched chain amino acids, is that going to be sufficient after a workout? But in actual fact, it's not, because it just contains those 3 essential amino acids. You need the other 6 in order for everything to work really well. Some people, if they're really optimizing their goals, might combine a muscle workout shake, a protein shake, say, like your whey isolate shake, that's what I drink, with the 9 EAAs as well. Some research is suggesting that if you have your muscle recovery drink after you've done your workout and also have a dose of your 9 essential amino acids, you can actually really sort of superpower your muscular renewal. I might actually try it. I've not tried that yet myself. I do find with just taking creatine, I've spoken about creatine at length. There's actually a mini playlist of creatine. I will pop some of the creatine videos in the description box below in case you want to dive into that. Creatine's fantastic. I take it daily. But if you really wanted to maximize your results, it might be worth adding your 9 essential amino acids to your muscle recovery drink after you finished your workout. So just to recap that, branched chain amino acids, they give you 3 of the 9 essential amino acids. They signal to the body to start to build muscle, but they don't come with the toolbox and the bricks and the mortar and the reinforcements. That is what you would get from a whey protein shake, or indeed complete protein, by making sure that you're eating plenty of protein rich, healthy protein food. And that will signal muscle building. It provides all the essential amino acids that you require. It supports repair and recovery and also builds new muscle tissue. And I think it's really important that we do think about food as our main source of protein rather than opting for the protein shake. If you're drinking protein shakes, in fact, I will add a video that I covered this in quite a lot of detail here. If you're having them, make sure you're getting the unsweetened variety. That a lot of them will say they're unsweetened, but then if you have a flavored version, it might contain sucralose or something along those lines. If it contains a natural sweetener like stevia, if you like the taste of stevia, I don't really like the flavor of stevia, monk fruit, things like that, that is, not so bad. But remember that any sweetener is going to have an impact on your insulin levels, your blood sugar levels in your body, which will then trigger the insulin. And that's something that we want to try and manage through our menopausal years. So if you can manage with the unsweetened variety, you could always make it slightly more palatable. I often add beetroot powder into mine. It's a very earthy flavor. Beetroot might not be your thing, but you could also blend it with some berries. Berries are a really healthy way of getting sort of a little bit of sweetness from the fruit, but you've got the fiber and the antioxidants, the vitamins and minerals. Or you could indeed, I mean, I normally add a little bit of my raw organic cacao powder. That is really low in sugar. I mean, there's no like added sugar to it at all. It's really quite bitter, organic cacao powder is. And I often add a little bit of that to mine because I don't like the flavor of milk. So I have the unsweetened whey isolate from Momentous, brilliant brand. I think they are one of the cleanest brands. I really like. I think they're good value compared to the cleanliness of the brand that you get. So whey isolate, a little bit more expensive than your standard whey protein shake. It contains less fat, it contains less lactose, it's slightly purer, but it really depends upon your budget as to which one you take and also your bodily needs. Bringing me back to EAAs just briefly, some people can't manage to drink protein shakes. They just find it too bloating. That might be a vegan shake, it might be a whey-based shake. And some women just struggle. Their digestive systems do not like them. And in that case, you might then want to consider essential amino acids as a supplement instead if you feel like you're maybe not quite hitting your protein targets throughout the course of the day. I do drink my whey isolate daily, whether I have my workout or not, because for me, it's a really easy way of easily getting I normally have a 3/4 scoop in my Greek yogurt pre-workout sort of berry bowl before I do my workout. That probably gives me 18 grams of protein. And then I have a full scoop after I've had my workout, and that's a full 25 grams of protein. So I know that, I'm really having a good start to my day with plenty of protein. And for me, it's a quick, easy way of getting protein in. I don't feel like eating much in the morning. I used to love intermittent fasting. It doesn't work so well for me nowadays because it does tend to increase your cortisol levels. Cortisol levels can lead to that belly fat and the increase or the blood sugar regulation issues. So I've sort of make myself eat a Greek yogurt berry bowl before I do my workout these days with protein shake and also some flax seeds, another great way of getting some extra protein in. So for me, it's part convenience, and I can't face massive amounts of food first thing. So you have to go with what suits you best. But like I say, if you've got digestive issues, you might be better off just taking the 9 essential amino acids as a supplement. And those do include, like I said earlier, the branch chain amino acids, which are going to help you trigger that muscular synthesis and muscular repair and renewal. And while I'm speaking primarily about whey protein powders in this, it is important to note that you can get some really good high quality vegan protein powders too, and the more modern ones and the better ones have a blend of different vegetable plant proteins because that gives you a wider profile of different types of protein to make sure that you get the complete amino acid profile. So just to sort of go through a few myths and facts, because it can be quite confusing, BCAAs, EAAs, whey protein, whey isolate, casein, plant-based protein, protein. What is the best way? This is a bit of a grey area. I would always say if you're strength training, have a muscle recovery drink afterwards because it's easy. And it's make sure you've got your branch chain amino acids, your leucine, your isoleucine, and your valine, plus the other 6 essential amino acids. Obviously, those 3 branch chain add up to the 9 that you need in a complete, easily consumable way to make sure that you're getting sufficient protein. If you eat plenty of protein anyway, and you love eating, whatever your protein sources might be, then you don't necessarily need to take a protein recovery drink after you work out. I have always led with food protein, and I must admit that when I'm doing heavy duty strength training, particularly when I change my programs up, which I do regularly just to make sure my muscles aren't getting too used to what they're doing, I find that having a muscle recovery drink after my workout helps to reduce the onset of DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. If I don't have it, I do find that my muscles are feeling a bit more inflamed for a few days afterwards, which would then, for some of us, it might be enough to prevent us from doing the next workout. If you struggle with sore muscles, I would say one of the best things that you can do is still move the next day, but move gently. So pick up lighter weights, still get that movement in, because by doing that, you're flushing through all of the sort of soreness that's in your muscles. And if you're doing it in a fairly mitigated way, you're being careful about what you're doing, then you're still increasing the delivery of oxygen, blood, nutrients to those muscles, and you'll find it will flush through that soreness and reduce that inflammation faster than if you think, oh my God, I'm not going to move for the next 5 days because I can barely sit down on the toilet. You are actually better off doing a gentle strength workout, and then making sure you have a really good stretch after that session. You'll find that will flush through that soreness much, much more quickly. And also, if you're not taking a muscle recovery drink, like, your whey isolate after you've finished your workout, consider introducing it. See how you feel. Is it making a difference to you? If it is, keep up with it. If it isn't, don't worry. Just keep well hydrated, drink plenty of water, and your muscles will eventually get used to the new challenges that you're putting them through. Another commonly held myth is that branched chain amino acids are separate to what you get in a protein shake. That is not true. All protein shakes contain the 3 essential branched chain amino acids. Myth, more supplements equals more muscle. No, not really. Just make sure that you're eating plenty of protein, however you get that protein, and you will develop that muscle. Myth is that protein shakes can make you gain weight. Not really, because it's your total calories that will make you gain weight. By allowing some of your daily calories, they're normally about sort of 150, 160 calories for a protein shake after you've done your workout. It is probably going to help you manage your food requirements, your blood sugar levels will be kept more even throughout the course of the day. So even long term, over that sort of 24-hour period, your muscles can repair more quickly. And because a lot of the muscle recovery drinks contain also a small amount of carbs, a woman's body needs some carbs. So it's going to help reduce those cravings that you might get later on in the day. So while, yes, they might contain 150, 160 calories per serving, they're probably preventing you eating other stuff that you might otherwise eat had you not had that protein shake. And I would also say that it's a pretty healthy way of getting 150 to 160 calories in. There are a lot of other things that most of us eat that we shouldn't be eating that soon make up that 160 calorie, amount. So I would really suggest you don't stress out about the calories in your protein shake. If you're really strict on your calories, make sure you're shaving them off from another aspect of your day, unless you are literally on top of your nutrition, you know exactly what you're doing, and you're just taking your 9 essential amino acids because you don't want to take that protein shake, and you're getting ready for a competition or something along those lines. In that case, that would be slightly different. So just keep it simple. Strength train regularly. Eat sufficient protein. If a protein shake, whey isolate is probably one of the best ones, helps you get your protein grams in per day, then add it, make sure that you're drinking your protein shake. EAAs and BCAAs are tools. They're extras. They are not essential if you're eating enough protein throughout the course of the day. Don't let marketing overcomplicate what your body already does naturally by itself. Supplements should support your nutrition, not replace it. So food really ought to be the first way that you're getting your protein. And then if you're a bit like me, you need that extra sort of 30, 40, 50 grams, and you just find it easier with a protein shake. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But if you could actually get it through eating lean, healthy protein, that would be even better. So I hope you found this helpful. Give it a like. If you did, consider subscribing to the channel. Be really interested to hear what you currently use and why, if you use any supplements at all. Have you tried adding the 9 EAAs on top of your muscle recovery drink? And what results have you got from that? So take good care. I will look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much for your company. If you've got anything you'd like me to cover in a future episode, drop it in the comments below and I'll make sure to add that to the rotation. See you soon.